Hey everyone, hope everyone's doing well. Welcome back to week 3, day 2 of the Weightlifting.AI programming. It'd be nice if I actually knew how to speak the English language. It'd be a bit nice for my day-to-day life. But in this program, or in this day of the program, I did a lot of snatch doubles, some light clean and jerks, some back squats, and then accessory work that wasn't recorded. Snatches, I'm quite annoyed myself. I was just being too aggressive, so you'll see me miss a lot because I was trying to push myself to get to heavier weights. Ended up getting some decent doubles with 113 and 116, but really should have been more conservative, or at least I don't want to say more honest, because I was just being aggressive, and that's not me necessarily being dishonest. It's just me wanting to go up. I should have just repeated weights and worked on the being more technically proficient. But it is what it is with that. The main focus of this video is kind of the comparison of the JTS, the Weightlifting.Ai. I really cannot talk. I do apologize. But I will break this up in a couple different videos, and I'm trying not to make it too long-winded, but I figured a good starting point would be kind of the intake of both of the programs and how quickly you're able to get it and that kind of stuff. So signing up for both of them were pretty easy. Obviously, Weightlifting.AI, I'm just going to take out the dot because I can't even say it. But the Weightlifting.AI program is still in the beta, so the actual getting into it, you kind of had to get into the beta for it. So it's a little bit different than JTS. JTS, you just kind of sign up on the website. So obviously that's going to be a difference for this initial point. But once you sign up, you have to download the app for the Weightlifting AI. For the JTS, they send you an email of an intake form, and I don't forget exactly the format of it. It might have just been like a Google Sheet or something, but I think it was a Google Sheet. It was like a long sheet where you put in your numbers and where you miss and your body weight and all those kind of things, your totals, your best lifts, all that kind of stuff. The Weightlifting AI did a similar thing. They didn't ask where you missed. All the other numbers were there for different lifts, and you're able to go back and see that in the app. So it's the app, and the JTS was a Excel sheet / Google Sheet that you keep switching back and forth, which is a very annoying thing. So the formatting of the app is much more user friendly than just obviously trying to mess with Google Sheets and or Excel sheets on your phone. Very annoying to do in that sense. But the way that you get your programming is you send your intake form for the JTS. You would send your intake form. They would give you your 3 weeks of programming for the month. You would complete it, send it back in to them, and then they would send your next one. You would have to do it a couple days early before the program ended to make sure you had it for the next week. So you kind of had to guess on the last day or two because you wanted to make sure that you had it for that following Monday. So that was a part that meant that they didn't even see the full 3 weeks of training that you did. So you just kind of had to just put what numbers you were probably going to do, which is not a very good system. For the Weightlifting AI, once you finish a week of programming, it then auto populates the next week, or at least creates the next week of training, and so you're able to instantly see it and see what are going to be in your 6 workouts, and you can go through and click and to see what the weights are, what the different intensities and reps and all of that kind of stuff, so you can see the specifics. When I initially started the Weightlifting AI, I was in preview mode until actually Sunday. I was able to start it a day early, but you could see, I forget exactly what the preview mode would look like, but I don't think you could see the weight specifically that you're going to do, just kind of the workouts itself, like if it would have snatches and front squats and etc. But now it doesn't do the preview mode for the next week when it populates on Saturdays when I finish the week of programming, Saturday or Sunday when I finish the week of programming each week, which I think is really nice. I like being able to look into the next week and seeing different things. You're able to kind of manipulate each day you're programming with the light system, which you could do slightly with the JTS. So the when you first get the program for JTS, you can see your full 3 weeks. So that's more than the Weightlifting AI. Weightlifting AI, you only see the 1 week, but you can see in the analytics the kind of progression that it's going to have as far as the volume and the repetitions and the intensities for the different exercises. You just don't see the specific things already on there because it's generated as you go through the programming. So getting the program for Weightlifting AI was significantly easier than getting it for JTS. Getting the next week or the next part of your programming is significantly easier with the Weightlifting AI than the JTS just with the app. Even though it's in beta, it works much better than obviously trying to mess with sheets or Excel sheets on Google Sheets or Excel sheets on your phone. When you had to send it back, you would have to like convert them to, I forget which format, back, so it would get it back to you. If you didn't do it right, you wouldn't get back your sheets, or there would be a delay with getting it if the formatting was wrong. So it was definitely inconvenient with that sense. And I think that's the main part of the intake. Their rating system for JTS, I suppose that'll be the last thing I'll cover before I run out of time. It would have like a 5-point scale of how you felt after your warm-ups, and I don't know if it did it for each exercise or if it was just in general for like the first exercise, and then it would just kind of populate for your workout. I feel like it did it for each exercise if you felt good, great, or whatever. And trying to manipulate that myself, I would put that I felt great because it would sometimes have you max out, which is always fun to do, but not always smart to do programming wise. But you can manipulate that stuff as you go. You would have to put like 3 or 4 days. I remember when I got burnt out from the programming and I just kept putting ones, like the lowest rating. It took like 3 days of doing that constantly for the program to be like, you should take a day off. So it definitely was kind of odd that it took that long of being a feel like 1, which is like, I feel like death, I'm dying. It realizing like, oh, you should just not live today. Because I put the 6 days, the maximum days per week, just like with the Weightlifting AI. I haven't had to go to I'm feeling like death for the programming, but I have noticed that when you do use the rating system, it does obviously adjust the weights up and down intra sets with it, which is quite nice. With the JTS stuff, if you put that you felt good, great, however you put, it would dictate how all of your sets would go. So you would either do 3x3 at whatever weight, or maybe you would do a 2x4 at whatever weight. So it would kind of just decide the reps and whatever for you based on how you said that you felt. What's nice with the Weightlifting AI is it's kind of intra-set, and I like the subjective rating for each set because it can make you, like I talked about at the beginning, like I should hold myself more accountable, and you can kind of do that and kind of learn with the system to how to rate yourself more honestly or more accurately as you go on. So I definitely like the delivery of the program and how quickly it's you get the next week of programming, and how just the ease of use of the app itself, which is really nice. So the actual programming itself, I think I'll talk about that in the next video. So perhaps I'll call this part 1, and the next one will be part 2. But intake wise and getting the actual programming, definitely much easier with the Weightlifting AI. But that's it for this one. I'll talk to you all in the next video, and hope you all have a great day. Peace.